Hi everyone, Sabrina here with a book review for Wise Women. I finished this in the wee hours of the morning. I'm trying to read a book a day at the moment and doing quite well. This was sent to me by the publisher, Virgo? I think it's Virgo. Just as a copy. I didn't request it or anything. I don't think I requested it, but they sent me this a few months ago now. So it's been sat on the many piles down the floor. So I thought, do you know what, I'll read it and do a review for it, because that's only fair. So Wise Women is a collection of stories for the older women, so post-40s, in life, but it's all folklore and fairy tale stories from predominantly Western Europe. And surprisingly, there's quite a few tales out there that have older women in fairy tale and folk tales who are not the Wicked Witch. This does go to some pains to link that the whole folk tale changed as we had the rise of the witch trials across Central Europe. So a lot of the original wise women, cunning women, herb women that you would go to in folklore were kind of vilified and made these evil, haggard, classic witch look, and they were out for evil and destroying children and eating children. Thank you, Hansel and Gretel. So the writers of this, Sharon and Angard, have gone through some of the folk tales and actually dug quite hard to find the original stories where older women are seen as wise, as compassionate, but also tales that look at the change that women go through, particularly in their late 30s, 40s, with perimenopause and the menopause, and how that too often we've been written off once we hit the menopause, and it's like, well, we're now old, we don't matter, we're not important. Whereas actually a lot of folk tales turn around and say just because women have gone through this change in their life actually means they are now in the next stage of their life. They've done the child rearing and all that. They're now into like their second golden age, as it were, with their wisdom and their knowledge and their strength. I don't give two hoots anymore. I really don't. If you don't like truth, then that's on you, not on me. I don't care what people think. I wear what I want to wear. I have my hair how I wear it. I don't care anymore. I just don't care anymore. There's something very liberating about hitting your mid-40s and the men all stop trying to hit on you because you don't look like a teenage girl anymore. And you stop, not caring, but you stop worrying about what other people think about you. It's like your body is doing whatever the hell it wants to do. I mean, literally, I'm going through massive hot flushes at the moment and my hormones are kicking in, something terrible. And it's like, you know what? I've got enough going on my plate. I don't need to care about what anybody else says. And there's a lot of tales in this that they've discovered that women are going through that transformation phase of their life to become something different and beautiful. The first story that opens up is the woman who turned into a fox, and it's her experience of realising that her life that she's had with her husband for so long actually means nothing. So she runs away. She's picked up by a giant who hides her in a cave, and then she hears these voices that says, reach up, there's animal skins above you, try some on. So she tries on a beautiful crow's feather dress and doesn't fit her. We'll try again, there's mammal clothes up there. She pulls down a dress made out of fox's pelts and she turns into a fox. But she takes a little while to realise that, and then she goes out and she's her father, so she's like going to go back home to be with her father where she knows she's safe. But her head's like wants to go in, but her body, the body of the fox, won't go in because it knows that's where she doesn't belong anymore. And the end of the story of her is accepting that she's now this beautiful creature and she's something different, and she doesn't need her husband, she doesn't need to hide away, and she doesn't need the safety of her father. She can stand on her own. So, that's the opening story, and that's actually quite powerful. But there's some real crackers in here. There's a lot of stories about the Cailleach, or her various names. There's a lot of mythology from Scotland and Ireland about strong women, about wise women, about women who are just like, do you know what? Sort yourself out. So that's quite interesting that Scotland, the borders and Wales and Ireland have these like women who are just like, I don't care and I'm going to tell you the truth. And many of them are very compassionate. Some of them don't suffer fools gladly at all. But there seems to be a distinct lack of wiser older women in like central England. Yeah, I mean, am I reading too much into that, or is that actually a thing? They just look like their male folk heroes a bit more in mainland England. But yeah, it's a really interesting collection. After some of the stories, there's this bit of reflection, a bit of history about where the folklore has come from. Sometimes we need explanations, particularly for the Irish and the Scots, because they have their own particular mythology up there, so that's been explained for the reader who might not know that, which is really good. And then there's this like linking the old woman in the tale to women of today, you know, what we should be looking for. So we are truth speakers, we are kind, we are compassionate, but at the same time we have a sense of humour, we look at life differently now. Some of us are happy with our lot, some of us are content. That many older women in the folk tales and possibly in the modern age have got to a point where they're like, I know what I want, I know I'm content with what I've got, and I'm not going to go looking for anything else. There's a lot of subtle morality going on in these stories, which the author discusses in here. There's definitely a lot to learn from this and a lot to discuss from this. I found it really, really interesting. And there's my cat. He does like the view up here. So Wise Women, Myths and Stories for Midlife and Beyond. Well worth picking up, having a peruse, certainly discovering some folk tales and mythologies that you might not have known about. And yeah, don't underestimate us just because we've got to midlife. We're powerful. Leave your thoughts down below. As always, thank you very much for watching and happy reading. Take care. Bye.